Shaw, and we are live from the 704 once again for episode 77 of the 815 Exchange. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's the return of the Blue Couch. We are back. We are back in my home, away from home, or my home. It's my second home, right? We are back in Charlotte, so yeah, back on the Blue Couch. Just got out of class, so you know the deal. I mean, you know what it is. It's a Monday. It's you know what the deal is. Just like first semester, it is. You know what it is. All right, we back. All right, we back in class. It's back to the usual. All right, episode 77. We back. We back live from the 704. I'm very excited because we had an incredible week. Especially the weekend. It was an incredible weekend of sports, especially. Of course, we had some stuff we'll talk about in entertainment naturally, but it was a special week in sports, and especially it was a very special week in the NFL, and we'll talk about that, of course, in the main event. But before we get there, alternatively, if you want to skip ahead to the main event, timestamps and some of my social medias are in the description as always, so feel free to just go down there, skip ahead to that. If you can't wait, any longer, you don't want to hear me talk about UFC 270, you want to hear me talk about Attack on Titan, and Eric, you know what, I'm not going to say that because that's a spoiler, but you don't want to hear me talk about all that. Just skip ahead, timestamps in the description, and as always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you are enjoying the content. Now, like I was saying, before we get to the main event, we have some other things to attend to. First off, we're going to talk about UFC 270, which of course, naturally, is what we're going to start today's episode with. And well. And really, it should have just been, for Francis's heavyweight title, because as far as I'm concerned, no disrespect to Cyril Gane, but that was the only heavyweight title. The interim title was super unnecessary. You did it maybe for marketing reasons and also because of the feud that Dana and Ngannou have going on. But anyways, it was for the Undisputed heavyweight belt, who is the best heavyweight in the world currently. A lot of people thought Cyril Gane had it. A lot of people thought Cyril was the guy. I mean, his skill set was just nothing we'd really seen in a heavyweight, at least in a very long time. But I don't even know if we've really seen that before, right? He was a different breed of heavyweight, and a lot of people thought his technique and his style was going to be able to overcome the power, this raw athleticism and power of Francis Ngannou. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that's not what happened. That is not what happened at all, because it wasn't a knockout. It wasn't anybody getting finished. Gane didn't finish Francis. Francis didn't finish Cyril. No, instead we got Division 1 Francis. All right, we got D1 Francis. I didn't see this coming. I'm gonna be honest. Last week I did not see this coming. I did not. I don't think really anybody saw it coming. But Kamaru Usman's gonna be a hell of a coach. When he decides to hang him up, when he decides to hang the gloves up, he's gonna be a hell of a coach, because Ngannou once again has shown that he's leveled up. Last against Stipe, we saw him level up some of the wrestling, some of the grappling. We saw it go to another level against Cyril, right? We also saw, most importantly, in my opinion, his fight IQ went up, right? Cyril, I think I had Cyril win in the first round. I think most people did, right? Gane came through, did what he did. Francis, he was causing Francis all types of problems. In fact, I'd say Ngannou was probably down 2-0 in the cards, in my opinion. But then he went and made the necessary adjustments. Started saying, you know what, I am the strongest guy in this division. Let me wrestle a little bit. I've been with my brother Kamaru. He taught me a little bit, so let me show it off. And then started taking down, yes, Francis Ngannou, known for his world-renowned, all-time great knockout power. Once thought of as a one-dimensional martial artist, took down Cyril Gane over and over and over. And now, sure, he needs to work on his ground and pound, and he essentially just wrestled and just kind of kept Gane and kept top control pretty much the entire time, even though there were some decent scrambles from Francis. Like, I don't know how he got out of that leg lock. Well, maybe it's because he had a torn MCL, but we'll get to that. But Ngannou, I mean, made the necessary adjustments, did what he had to do to win the belt. It was very impressive. Normally, if a fight goes the way that fight went, I'd be like, oh, he was boring. Oh, who cares, blah, blah, blah. I probably would have been ragging on him a little bit, whoever the fighter was that won the fight. Whatever it is, when we saw, I don't know, Woodley do it before, whatever. Normally I would have done that, I'd have been a little disappointed. But I was just so impressed, and I wasn't the only one. I was so impressed that Francis had that in his tool shed and was able to level up to that level to be able to do that. I was still captivated. So very, very impressive win for Francis, retaining the heavyweight crown. Again, whatever they're doing, he proved his old coach. He proved his decision right to leave his old coach, who Cyril's now with. And that was a lot of the drama leading up to the fight. He proved his decision right because of how much better Ngannou's got, and he might have some longevity with the heavyweight title. Very, very impressive stuff from Francis. Him and Dana, man, I know Dana was sick. I said it last week, I wanted Francis to win because I wanted to see what Dana was going to do. Dana didn't even put the belt on him. Dana's sick right now, all right? He is upset. He is in his feelings right now, all right? Uncle Dana is not a happy camper. But it is what it is. You got to pay him, man. You gotta pay the man. Pay the man. Pay the fighters. Pay the fighters. This isn't the UFC in its infancy when y'all had a scrape mind. Y'all are millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Y'all are generating in revenue. Pay the fighters, man. Just pay the fighters. That's why he wants the Tyson Fury fight, which he does not really want any smoke. I'm going to be honest, because Fury repeats him up in a boxing match. In the octagon, it'd be different, but in a boxing match, Fury has no contest. But that's why he's doing that, because you're not paying him. Pay the man before he goes to Bellator, and the best heavyweight in the world is in the rival company. Just pay the man, Dana. Also pay Brandon Moreno, all right? I don't know why he was getting $200K as a champ, but speaking of Moreno, he's no longer the flyweight champ because in another great fight in this now trilogy, which is going to be a quadrilogy, whatever you want to call 4 fights. It's the first time it's ever happened in UFC history. But Figgy reclaims the flyweight title. Figgy came with a better game plan. He came out with a very much better game plan, a much cleaner cut. And I think that's what contributed a lot to him being better and looking more like the Figueiredo that we know. Is that cut was much cleaner. If you watch the UFC embedded, he started cutting a little bit earlier. He didn't have to cut off as much weight, and when he was weighing in, you could tell he had a little bit more energy than him looking like Skeletor, like he usually does. So I think that cut helped out Figueiredo a lot and was able to make it much more competitive. He fought the right game plan. It was a very, very close fight. I'm going to be honest, you could have given it to Moreno. You could have given it to Figgy. You could have said it was a draw, but I think Figgy stole it. I think that third round, that knockdown late, I think that's really what stole the fight for him, because up to that point, before that knockdown, Moreno was winning that third round pretty decisively. And then Devinson came around, got the knockdown, and that just changed everything. And I think that was enough, and I'm pretty sure it was enough to get him to UD and let him reclaim his flyweight crown, which of course will lead to a 4th fight. As this is the ultra rare, probably first time ever, I think first time ever in UFC history. And I can't really recall, probably it has happened because boxing has a very extensive history. But a time where a trilogy has literally had all 3 outcomes, right? A win for one guy, a win for the other guy, and a draw. It's insane. So we're still 1-1-1. So now we need the ultimate grudge match, the 4th match to decide who is truly the king of the flyweights. A lot of respect between the 2 competitors. They're clearly 1A, 1B in the division, in my opinion. Clearly 1A, 1B. I could watch them fight forever because they're great fighters. They produce great fights. So yeah. Moreno, classy in the interview after the loss. I think he knew he was going to get that 4th fight, so should be interesting, man. Should be interesting. It can go either way. Just like this fight could have gone either way. The 4th one, once again, will probably go either way. I'll be looking forward to it. And yeah, one of the greatest rivalries in UFC history. To end off the rest of UFC 270, Said Nurmagomedov. I wanted to make sure I got that right because don't want to disrespect one of the GOATs in Khabib, even though Said has no relation. I know. I guess Nurmagomedov is something similar to like Smith over here in the States, all right, in Dagestan, whatever. Anyways, the man can fight, all right. If you see a man with that last name and you are fighting him, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. He's not related to Khabib. He's not one of the cousins. But he's got the goods. He honestly looked like a mini Zabit. I'm going to be honest. It was insane. Completely dismantled his opponent. Said one to watch out for in that 135 division. Also, and probably one of the fights of the night. I don't know exactly one fight of the night. Probably the flyweight crown, but I might have shared it with this. Fialho and Michael Pierre was a fantastic 3-rounder on the main card. Absolutely fantastic fight. Fialho came with the heat. He was game. But Pierre, once again, made the necessary adjustments. How many times have I said that? And I'm going to say it a whole lot in today's episode. You know, I really could title it "Made the Necessary Adjustments." Made the necessary adjustments, showed off some fight IQ, and started getting his shots in, started, swaggering, started, did the heel kick, did everything. Pulled out the whole, repertoire, and got the win. So congrats to Pereira. Great job. Fialho, no harm done. Great fight. Both of them look good. It's one of those fights where I think the stock of both of them raised. So yeah, shout out to Pierre though for getting the win. And that was UFC 270. Now in approximately, 3-ish weeks, we'll be talking about Rob versus Izzy. So stay tuned for that one. Moving on here to college basketball. Yes, we're going college basketball here because we had some pretty big games take part. And I got to talk about Auburn, right? I was going to put this in the roundup. I was debating whether I was going to do an NBA segment or a college basketball segment. And I just put the NBA in the roundup, all right? We had to get the CBB segment because Auburn, oh my goodness. They're the truth. They're the truth. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And Jabari Smith is the truth. But first off, Walker Kessler. I am so glad. I am so glad that he does not play for the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill anymore. I am so tremendously happy that is not the case because he has been a monster with Bruce Pearl and co. at Auburn. He's been great all year. He was great in this game. 19-7 for Kessler. Now for Kentucky, Oscar Shebe, he held it down, 16-14. You know what Oscar does. Best rebounder in the country. But Auburn, just as a team, they look like the number one team. I know Gonzaga's the number one team in the country right now, but I think Auburn should be the number one team in the country. The resume, unmatched this season. Unmatched. And just the eye test, they're passing. They're passing everything right now. They're looking like legitimate championship contenders, of course, led by Kessler. And I have to mention Jabari Smith because he has pushed himself into that number one pick conversation along with Paulo and Chet. I think some people even have him at one now. I'm looking for something that he doesn't do, that he does wrong right now. He can shoot, can score from a multitude. That Kobe-esque fadeaway in crunch time versus Kentucky was insane. Got a great stroke, can finish at the rim. He's a lob threat. He can pass. He can handle the ball a little bit, especially for somebody that's 6'10". He plays great defense. There's nothing that he does wrong right now and that I can find. He's looking at a tremendous prospect. One definitely worthy of sitting up there on that seat with Paulo, with Chet, and it's going to be a storyline we see here as we go down the line. But Bari, Kessler, Auburn, number one. Tennessee versus LSU. 2 weeks. 2 weeks straight they're talking about Kentucky and Tennessee. Of course, last week we talked about Kentucky and Ty Washington getting the best of Tennessee. But on this day, on Saturday, faced another ranked opponent, faced off against LSU when they got the win 64-50. Vescovi continues his hot run of games recently. He had 16, led everybody in scoring. Great game for Tennessee, man. Great game for Tennessee. Great way to get back, in winning ways against a very solid opponent in LSU. So congrats to Tennessee. Michigan State and Wisconsin. Now, Wisconsin's been the toast of the college basketball world. Johnny Davis has looked like National Player of the Year. And once again, Johnny Davis came with the heat. He dropped 25. All right, it's a given. Johnny's going to get his. Brad Davison also got his. Now, Brad has also felt like he's been here for about 8 years. I'm pretty sure I was in middle school when he started at Wisconsin, and I am now a junior in college, so that should put things in perspective for how long it feels like Brad Davison has been at Wisconsin. Felt like he was playing against Aaron Kraft, but nonetheless, Brad Davison dropped 22. I think he dropped 6 threes as well. Great game, great guard play from Wisconsin, but Michigan State was able to get the win 86-74, simply off the fact that that bench was tremendous. Hall, Hoggard, Atkins, 10, 12, and 14 respectively. That's what, 22, that's 36 points off the bench from 3 players. That's a game changer, especially in college basketball. And yeah, Atkins, Haggard, Hall off the bench were fantastic. Flipped the game on its head and was able to compensate. Also, a great job down low for Michigan State, shutting down any type of interior post play that Wisconsin tried to present. Had none of it. Guards got off, but Michigan State, full team performance. A full team performance. I think they're okay with not having Amani Bates, who was also, I'm not going to fully talk about this, but I guess I'll mention it since we're talking about Michigan State. Amani having that run in because he was ranked 20th in the 2023 mock draft or whatever, big board. What has he done? What has he done? I get it. He's a 17-year-old. He's playing against grown men, blah, 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 blah. He could have stayed in high school. He could have stayed. Even then, I think he could have got past. I think Amani Bates is what we're seeing. That's what he is. All right? I don't think they were disrespecting you. In fact, I think you could have been lower. But, you got a lot of potential. So, ease up. Michigan State, Izzo looking like they dodged the bullet there. Atkins, like I said, he dropped 10 in this game. So, they get the win over Wisconsin. Huge win in the Big Ten. Huge win going forward for Michigan State. We'll see where that takes the Spartans. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that now brings us to entertainment. And we're going to kick it off on the music side of things. Everybody on Twitter, and I guess on YouTube, because he does crazy numbers on YouTube. But NBA Youngboy dropped, all right? NBA Youngboy dropped. Of course, we got the ongoing feud with Dirk. I ain't going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the music, even though he mentioned Dirk and O-Block many, many times throughout that entire album. But nonetheless, we going to leave that to them, and the whole money, honestly, is getting kind of corny, all right? It was cool when they did it because they're feud, but all y'all kind of jumping in on the trend, it's getting kind of corny. But anyways, Colors Deluxe. I appreciate Youngboy also dropping the Deluxe with the album and not waiting a week or a month or whatever. Appreciate that. I really do. Now, Youngboy, infamous for multiple reasons, but the man does not stop making music. Honestly, the only rapper I know that produces music at his clip was probably Juice, all right, in terms of the amount of songs they constantly make. I feel like I can't go more than 3 days with hearing somebody on my stories or on social media, on Snap or IG, posting, hey, yo, this new Youngboy fire. Okay, the man lives in the studio, which I kind of figured there was an album coming. But anyways, probably my standout track off of first listen is No Switch. I'm going to give the album as a whole like a 8.5, 8.4. It's a good album. There was some stuff that, it wasn't anything that was necessarily, besides Quando Rondo's verse, that was garbage. There's nothing I really thought that was mediocre. I didn't really not like. Well, yeah, not that I didn't like, that I thought was necessarily bad on the album in terms of songs. None of them made a playlist. They didn't go 20 for 20, in my opinion. But there wasn't any songs I necessarily thought were bad, but there were some that weren't really, I just wasn't feeling. But I could see other people enjoying, Emo Rockstar. I'm sure some people enjoyed, but I was like, I'm not really feeling it. So, overall, another good album. He's a good artist. He's a good artist for whatever you want to say with the controversies, all of the hype, and all of the weird copy pastes you want to see on Twitter. Dude is legitimately a good artist. And yeah, 8.6, 8.5, that's what I'm rocking with for Colors. It will be on repeat, especially in the gym, because NBA, everybody knows NBA in the gym is different. So yeah, how about that? Power, Book 2, episode, I don't even know, but the last episode, listen. Carrie Milgram, spoiler alert, spoilers on everything coming forward, alright? Spoilers from here on out. Skip ahead, alright? Go to the timestamps, skip ahead if you got to. I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Alright, Power Book 2, alright? Carrie Milgram is dead. I don't know if Mo killed her. I don't know if she hung herself straight up. I don't know what happened. But it appears Carrie Milgram is dead. Davis continues to be one of the greatest lawyers in the history of television. Certainly one of the coolest. He went up. That was perfect. Reek with another masterclass. He has really, truly been tapping into his St. Patrick blood lately. A masterclass. Manipulates Carrie into hopping on the stand for Lauren. Then, Davis grills Carrie, eviscerates her, then she ends up there. I mean, what a way to get away with your enemies. What else? D, it just went crazy. Went crazy at that dinner table, exposed everybody, exposed Mo for being Zeke's mother, and that she was still messing with Dante or Mecca. Exposed Kane for messing with the product. I mean, he was going after everybody. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Tejadas going forward. And now seeing Dante and Lorenzo's relationship and how that goes. The chef, they killed the chef. Mecca killed the chef when they stole the ring that Mecca was about to give to Mo. I mean, it was just a wild episode, bro. It was a wild episode. Tariq, the girl of the episode this week, right? 2 weeks ago it was Lauren. Last week it was D. This week it was Effie again. Three-peat, man. He three-peated. He's got 3 women in love with him at the same time. He's the Don, bro. He's the Don. He's that right now. He's just that dude. He's that dude right now. Attack on Titan, man. Attack on Titan. Oh man, I've been waiting for this one. Chapter 119. If you read the manga, like I did. I've been waiting on this one. Erin's head goes pop. Now I know a lot of people saying Gabby never misses, and true, she didn't miss the shot, but I mean technically she did. Her end goal was to stop the rumbling and to stop Erin from coming in contact with Zeke. And that way she missed. Alright, she missed because Zeke Yeager, who has been playing baseball his life, pulled out some Willie Mays. He pulled out the greatest catch we've seen since OBJ. And that one-handed catch caught, the decapitated head of Eren Yeager before he died. And now him and his brother are dealing it out in the past. And you'll see a lot more of one of the best chapters in the manga. Chapter 120, we'll talk about. I'm not going to spoil anything. Y'all will watch that next episode. Mikasa, even though she was on screen for maybe 30 seconds, I mean, she was going crazy. Connie, Jean, they were going stupid. Alright, they were going crazy, especially Mikasa though. That double, behind the back, double, that was so crazy. Shout out to Mappa, because they handle business in terms of the animation. A beautifully shot episode. What else? Pixis died an alcoholic. Falco had to eat Porco. Rainer just cannot die. He just can't die. The one character that does not walk plot armor has all of the plot armor in the world. It's so funny. It's tragic, but it's also hilarious. The Jaw Titan seemingly just exists to keep him alive. Now it's the 3rd straight Jaw Titan that's died for you. Get it together, Rainer. Get it together. Falco is now the Jaw Titan, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, one of the best episodes probably of the entire series. As expected, though. It was fun seeing everybody's reaction to Eren's head getting blown off. I will miss seeing Eren, even though I guess you see his full body in the mask. I will miss seeing him with his head in life. But yeah, Attack on Titan, another great episode. Euphoria is a madness. It's a madness. Everybody is down horrendous. Everybody in that show is down horrendous. Rue is doing fentanyl. She is finished. She screwed up with Ali. She's done. Alright, she's done. Elliot and Jules, I peeped the game, bro. That was a little bit scummy, but I see the vision. Alright, I see the vision. That opening scene, they've killed it with all these opening scenes, kind of explaining why Cal is the way he is. And it was honestly tragic seeing how now three generations of Jacobs are all fucked up because of how they acted to each other. So that was interesting. Cassie has no self-respect. Has absolutely no self-respect. She's just getting played out by Nate. We got the cat stuff going. I mean, it's a madness. It's a madness right now. Lexi and Fez, though, even though we didn't get much, they're still up good. Ashtray is the greatest young gangster of all time, going after Cal like that. But yeah, Lexi and Fez continue to reign supreme at the top of the power ranking. It was also nice to see Storm Reed as Gia this week. She killed it. But yeah, Euphoria. It's been a madness, man. Sam Levinson is nuts. All right, man. Y'all know what it is. It's the NFL. It's the NFL. It's the main event. It's the main event of the sports world. We had the greatest. All right, I probably titled it. It's the greatest divisional playoff round of all time. Every single game was a banger. We went 4 for 4 this week, dog. We went 4 for 4. No Wendy's. 4 for 4. 4 for 4. Every single game went down to the wire and had to have some type of clutch play. On Saturday, we kicked it off with the second lowest scoring game of the week. That's how crazy the week was. It was still 2 unbelievable games, and the scores were in the teens. Cincinnati moves on to the AFC Championship, as I correctly predicted. 19-16, getting the win over King Henry's return, spoiling King Henry's return over the Titans. Burrow wasn't a masterclass, but he still did go 28 for 37, had 348. Joe Main Man Mixon with 54 and a touchdown. Jamar Chase, 5 receptions, 109 for Jamar Chase, who continues to establish himself as one of the league's best receivers in his rookie season. Now, like I said, Burrow wasn't his finest, but he did a hell of a job putting them in position to win, and that's with him getting, he was getting, man got sacked 9 times. If the Bengals, and I texted this out to my friends, right? I texted this out to the boys. I said, if they can get an offensive line eventually and discover what that is, they're going to win a Super Bowl. They're going to win a Super Bowl. As long as everybody stays healthy on that offensive side of the ball and they get an offensive line, they could win a Super Bowl. Not this year, but they could win a Super Bowl, right? 9 sacks and Burrow still. Joe Chill, Joe Shiesty, Joe Brr. All right? Still the man. Yeah. Higgins, Chase go off. Higgins had 7 receptions, 96 yards, for those wondering. But a big reason why the Titans lost this game, and a big reason why the Bengals won this game, as you can probably tell by the score, was that defense held it down. Picked off Ryan Tannehill 3 times. Tannehill goes 15 for 24, 220, 1 touchdown, but like I said, 3 very costly picks. King Henry held to 62 yards, only 3.1 a carry. Sure, he got in the box, but he only had a longer 9. They did a great job shutting him down. A.J. Brown, on the other hand, they could not do anything about. 5 receptions, 142, and a touchdown for A.J., but it wasn't enough. Even with Jeffrey Simmons going for 3 sacks, 8 tackles, 3 for a loss. Harold Landry going for a sack and a half. Autry sack and a half. 9 sacks, and it was not enough. The best defensive performance you could have asked for against this Bengals offense for the Titans, and it wasn't enough. Evan McPherson walks out there, and he's looking like the kicker prospect that Roberto Aguayo was supposed to be, and gets what I think his 5th game-winning field goal this year. McPherson for 52, automatic. It was never in doubt. Congrats to the Bengals. They get it done. They move on to the AFC Championship. Now heading over to the NFC in the nightcap game for Saturday. The Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. And well, we had another game-winning field goal, but it was Robbie Gould. And I guess in the sense that, if Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, then the 49ers own Aaron Rodgers, because he is now 0-4 in his career against the 49ers. And I guess Robbie Gould, game-winning field goal, he's the kicker for the 49ers, which means he's a 49er. But he was also, kind of is a Bears legend, right? That technically means Robbie Gould owns Aaron Rodgers, which I'm sure Bears fans are perfectly fine for. A-Rod. Could have been a legacy-defining game, had a great opportunity to win a Super Bowl, but, I just have one of those feelings. That's why I didn't have them in the Super Bowl. Something's missing from that team, just like it's been for the past couple years. And hey, you know what? At least this time, y'all don't lose in the NFC Championship. But 49ers get the upset 13-10. It was freezing cold. Garoppolo played like garbage, but it didn't matter because that defense was once again shut down. Shut down. For everybody that's a component or a big supporter of defense wins championships, this was the game for you. All right, and this 49ers team is the team for you. Now, Deebo Samuel doing everything possible. All right, 39 yards rushing, 44 yards receiving, helped get them in place to get the game-winning field goal before going off with dead leg. Doing everything possible. Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, both with 2 sacks apiece. That defensive line, listen, those were first-rounders well spent for the 49ers because they got one of the best defensive lines, if not the best defensive line in football right now. Imagine if they had to play the Bengals. Oh dear God, pray for Joe Burrow. But Deebo Samuel did everything. The offense is garbage. The defense is amazing. The Packers didn't show up. Had no run game. Rodgers couldn't really do much. Aaron Jones, 9 receptions, 129 receiving. He had it going, but they were unable to get it in the box. Were unable to score. Besides the A.J. Dillon, they were unable to get any type of offensive production, and it came back and cost them a fumble for Rodgers. Defense, Rashawn Gary played the game of his life, but it was not enough. It wasn't enough. Mason Crosby missing field goals. It just wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. Congrats to the 49ers. Y'all are really rocking that Cinderella role right now, so all more power to you. Now let's get to Sunday, because Sunday was the game of the year day. All right, it was insane. From 4:30 on, it was just must-watch television. All right, I was flipping before channels like a madman. The Rams and the Bucks. I picked the Bucks to win the Super Bowl. I'm in the pool. I did. All right, but I'm not gonna lie. When I woke up yesterday, I said the Bucks are gonna lose this game. And I had instant regret for falling into the Brady trap, because I just felt like the Rams were a better team. And the Rams were the better team yesterday, 30-27. Now, AB, whatever, we can talk about that. But Matthew Stafford, I said the one thing when talking about the Rams in the playoffs, I said Stafford had to not turn the ball over. And, well, he didn't turn the ball over. No interceptions yesterday for Stafford. 28 for 38, 366, 2 touchdowns. Brady, 30 for 54, 329. An interception, but he also had the touchdown. Playoff Lenny had 2 touchdowns in his return game. Probably a better return game than I'd say for King Henry, for Lenny. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. After going up 27-3, the Rams let the Bucks back into this game. First it was Suckup, then it was Lenny, then it was Mike Evans burning Jalen Ramsey in a play that's not getting talked about enough, because if it was Javon Diggs, y'all would have been talking about how Javon Diggs is a garbage corner, but when it's Jalen Ramsey, he gets a pass. Nonetheless, burns Ramsey, and suddenly we got a game. And then Fournette scores with 42 seconds to go. And all you had to do was shut them down and get it into overtime. But that was too hard, because we had our 3rd game-winning field goal of the divisional round. Not the playoffs, of the divisional round. Up to that point, all 3 games were won by a game-winning field goal, which is insane. Matt Gay, against his old team, sends them packing. In Tampa Bay, by the way. But, just insane. I don't know how Todd Bowles makes that call with that much time, and you put the best receiver in the league this year, Cooper Kupp, in single coverage versus a safety. That was the easiest pick and catch. Fantastic throw by Stafford, but the easiest pick and catch for them. That was the easiest pick and catch for them, and that cost y'all the game. That cost y'all the game after an incredible comeback by Brady and co. Looked like it was going to be another historic moment alongside the GOAT's historic, legendary career. But the defense blew it. He did everything he could, put him in a position to get it done, but it wasn't enough. The Rams win an instant classic. Cup, like I said, monster game. Trying to see if I missed anything. 2 fumbles for Cam Akers. He was dreadful in this game. For the Bucks, like I said, Mike Evans, great game. 8 receptions, 119 and a touchdown, but wasn't to be. Wasn't enough. Defense could not make the stops we needed to. And the Rams sold out for a reason, and they're headed to the NFC Championship. They'll take on the 49ers. All right, and in the nightcap on Sunday, well, there's nothing else I can really describe this game besides game of the year. All right, it was game of the year. Argue with your mother. One of the games of the century, honestly. It could be argued it was game of the century, but also fixed overtime rules. But this game was ludicrous. All right, this was the best, and I mean the absolute best. One of the best. Well, I can't say the best, but it is one of the best, at least in my lifetime that I can recall, quarterback duels of all time. 2 of the best quarterbacks, 2 best, I guess. They're still fairly young. I guess technically they're young quarterbacks. But Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, it lived up to the hype, man. Josh Allen, 27 for 37, 329, 4 touchdowns, 68 yards rushing. Patrick Mahomes, 33 for 44, 378, 3 touchdowns, 69 yards and a touchdown. I mean, it was the two best games you could have ever asked for from these two. Just an insane quarterback duel, and that was only the tip of the iceberg in this game. The Chiefs get the win in overtime, 42-36, but my, how we got there was unbelievable. The fourth quarter, we're going to kick off from 1:54 to go, right? Chiefs are up, 1:54 to go, 26-21. Josh Allen mows down the field. He finds Gabriel Davis, who we're going to talk about, 27-yarder, and they got the 2-point conversion on an insane play from Josh Allen once again, tiptoeing around the defense, somehow improvising, making some time, and then delivering a perfect throw yet again. They take the lead, 29-26. Chiefs get the ball back. 52 seconds later, 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go, as Tyreek Hill scores a 64-yarder because the Bills secondary forgot how to tackle, and because Cheetah is, well, he's Cheetah, right? 64-yarder, 29-33 Kansas City. So then we go all the way down. Allen gets the ball back. Don't want to give Josh Allen the ball. He mows right down the field again, and guess who he finds? Gabriel Davis, 19-yarder. 13 seconds to go. Bills are now up 36-33. The game should be over. 13 seconds to go. Bills defense shuts it down. It's easy breezy. Pooch kick, waste some time. Don't let them score or get in field goal range, and it's over. But on this day, somehow, someway, 13 seconds was not enough time for the Bills defense. In fact, it was far too much time. Because Patrick Mahomes did what Patrick Mahomes did. Made the throws, made the right decisions. In 13 seconds, the Chiefs were able to get into field goal range. And Harrison Butker, one of the best kickers in the league, hits a 49-yarder. We're headed to overtime. And then, overtime. Because we're still not done. Coin toss. Yes, the coin toss is even a big event in this game. The coin toss. Josh Allen has not lost a coin toss all year. He finally loses one. And naturally, it comes back to cost him because the Bills defense couldn't stop, couldn't stop a toddler from scoring. Patrick Mahomes goes right down the field, 8-yarder to Travis Kelce. Game over, walk off, Chiefs head to the AFC Championship. I mean, it was insane. It was the craziest 3-minute stretch I can recall in NFL history. I don't know if there's been a better in last 3 minutes to a game, at least in regulation, that I can recall. Now, overtime, Bill, you got to change that to the college rule where the Bills get another shot, right? Josh Allen, with how well he played, one of the greatest quarterback performances in a playoff game ever, put the team on his back. A legendary performance. In a legendary game, you got to give him the chance to respond. It's like a tennis match. Mahomes, they were rallying. You gotta let him return the serve. You have to. So NFL, please, I am begging, change the overtime rules. Allow this. The game was an all-time great game, one of the greatest games of all time, and it could have been even better. So change that overtime rule. I saw some people talking this morning about the taunting with Tyreek. Listen, I don't care. Sure, you can say it should have been called, but honestly, it doesn't matter. I do not care. Let the players taunt, all right? Let them have fun, all right? I got no problem with him chucking up the deuces while he breaks your ankle because he's way too fast and you're way too slow and your secondary was getting burnt to crisp all game. I got no problem with it. I really have no problem with it. Now, before we talk about the Chiefs and all their brilliance, we talked about Allen. Let's talk about Gabriel Davis. He broke the record in a loss. He broke the record for most receiving touchdowns in a game by a receiver for the playoffs. 8 receptions, 201, 4 touchdowns. That is a ridiculous stat line. Gabriel Davis played the game of his life, and it was not enough. And it wasn't enough. The Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, 11 receptions, 150 and a touchdown. Classic Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce, 8 receptions, 96 yards and a touchdown. Pringle scored yet again. But I cannot say enough about this game. It was a legendary weekend in NFL. It was probably, like I said, the greatest divisional round ever. every single game ended on a walk-off. 3 game-winning field goals in a walk-off in overtime. It is just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's why I tweeted out, I love football, because it was one of those weeks where it was like, I love football. Even with my team not involved, it was just such an incredible watch. It was an incredible, incredible weekend. I do not know how championship weekend is supposed to follow this up, because, just game after year, after game after year, after game of the year. It's definitely going to be a weekend that we remember for a very, very, very long time in the NFL. But just insane. Chiefs, Rams, it's game of the year, game of the century. AFC Championship and NFC Championship should be very interesting with some storylines going on there. 49ers have swept the Rams in the regular season, so we'll see what happens there. And of course, we got the Chiefs and the Bengals, seeing what happens there. But yeah, just unbelievable weekend. Now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the Roundup. And well, like I said, we got some basketball. We got some more college basketball actually to start on the college women's side of the ball, because Ayoka Lee dropped 61, which is an NCAA women's basketball record on Oklahoma in the upset. I can't really see a better day, right? Dropped 61 against a conference opponent, and it was an upset. Hell of a game from Ayoka Lee. She's now averaging, I think, 23 and like 10, so monster game from the 6'6" center for Kansas State. We'll see where I'm sure her draft stock's got to be way up. Definitely one of the best big women in the country right now. And Ayoka Lee dropped 61. In the NBA, Jayson Tatum, pull up shoot. Jayson Tatum, 51 versus the Wizards. He had been a little bit of, not so much a scoring funk, but his efficiency hasn't really been there. A lot of people have been criticizing Tatum lately. Well, how about that? 51 versus the Wizards on 64% from the field. Can't ask for more. Pull up, shoot. JT, he gets it done. Of course, I have to talk about the Grayson Allen, Caruso. I don't think it was a dirty play. Now, I know it was Grayson Allen, so everybody hates him, dirty player, blah, 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 blah. If this wasn't Grayson Allen that made that foul, I don't think this would really be too much of a discussion. I think it was a freak accident. It happened. He was not intentionally trying to hurt Alex Caruso. He wasn't. Sorry, I know that hurts. He wasn't. He was pretty clearly going for the ball. Unfortunately, got tangled up in the air. Hate that Caruso. I think fractured his wrist. He's out for 8 weeks. Hate that. Absolutely hate it. Hate it for the Bulls because they've been great this year. Hate it for Caruso. He's a great player, great guy. But Grayson Allen was not trying to intentionally hurt that boy. Stop with it. I know y'all hate Grayson, but y'all can't be mad at him for this one. He got suspended. It is what it is. But it was a basketball play. Relax. But that's it. Episode 77. Like I said, back live from the 704. So we'll see what happens the rest of the week. But I don't know how next week is supposed to follow up this week. But unbelievable in the NFL. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great week. See you, of course, for the reactions throughout the week. But for now, Ocho signing off.